Alright, something a little bit different today. Obviously still download related. I'm going to sort of rank all the years I've been to Download Festival by worst to best sort of thing. The experience I had, which was my favourite, which was my least favourite. You get the picture, right? So we're going to start at the worst year for me, which was actually 2019. I think 2019 was actually my least favourite year at Download. I think the main player here in that reasoning is because of the weather. If you remember, 2019 was one of the worst weathers Download has probably ever seen. It was truly awful for nearly the entire festival. From day one, it was raining non-stop. By day two, there was mud baths everywhere. You couldn't really walk anywhere. The village was easily the least accessible village I've ever seen in all the years I've been going. It was almost impossible to walk around some of it because the mud was so fucking deep. Trying to get into the doghouse even was an absolute chore. It was just so ridiculously difficult. I did fall over a couple of times. My wellies were getting pulled off by the suction of how deep the mud was. So I know that some people love the mud, love the rain at Download. It's all about the rain, the mud. No, it's fucking not. I hate it. I want the sun. I want dry weather. I want dry grass. Obviously, since 2019, Download made the massive change of moving the festival slightly onto concrete, the village onto concrete, a lot of the walkways onto more concrete. They changed a lot because of that, and you know, well done to them. It's a shame we had to wait a couple more years to actually get that because of lockdown and stuff, but yeah, they really stepped up after that one. They realised it couldn't happen again. That was the worst. So accessibility, the weather, awful, really awful. -10 for me for that year. I was also just in a really crap place mentally then. My life outside of Download was pretty... I wasn't enjoying it really. I was drinking way too much. I was in and out of really crap jobs that were giving me no hours. I was really struggling to find a job, really struggling for money that year. I basically had nothing to my name. I don't even know how I did that festival really. I was really just feeling, you know, like a stick in the mud. Then I was in the mud for 5 days. The lineup was actually pretty great looking back. We got some great bands on that lineup. A lot of them I didn't even see because of the weather, because I was just fed up. I wasn't enjoying things. I just really wasn't feeling it. It was weird for me because of how great the previous years had been for me. But let's just pray for that third year of great weather so we don't have to experience another 2019 again. Number 2 is the OG, 2016, my first year at Download. Now, I really did have a good time this year. I really did enjoy it. You know, I was young, I was crazy, I had bright red fluffy hair. But again, we got some of the worst weather Download has ever seen. The first couple of days, great weather, really hot, really lovely. And then onto that Friday, pretty much as soon as Baby Metal came onto the main stage, it just started chucking it down. It constantly rained. It rained all day after that. I remember just sort of slipping down the hill, watching All Time Low, and then going to the main stage to see a bit of Rammstein. I was not aware of the things that I was about to experience. I wasn't aware of the pain I was about to go through. I didn't have wellies, didn't have a coat, had to buy the cheapest poncho I could find, eventually got some wellies as well, but it was awful. My shoes were destroyed. The phone that I had, it was one of those old Samsung phones where you could take the batteries out. The battery got destroyed. I had to replace the battery. All my portable chargers broke. Eventually the camera that I was using to vlog broke as well. That got so wet that it was completely destroyed by the end of the festival. My first actual YouTube vlogging camera, it died at my first Download, so it kind of had a bittersweet ending, I guess. But yeah, obviously again, weather, massive aspect as to why I didn't enjoy that year. I think that's pretty much the only reason I didn't enjoy it, to be honest. And losing half of the stuff I brought, it was the same for my friends who I was camping with as well. We lost a lot of clothing, we left a lot of things. I'm not going to lie, we left our tents, we left everything that year. There was no saving most of the things we brought that year. It was another true Download festival. The mud baths, the water, floods, camps were flooding, tents were getting full of water. It was really bad. If you were there that year, you'll remember the pain. Other than that, it was a great first year. I loved every other moment of it. Experiencing the doghouse, the village for the first time, and it was the old setup as well. You remember the old setup? There was a blow-up church there that year as well. It was all really cool. It still has to come down there as one of my worst years I've experienced there. At number 3, I got Download 2017. Now, there's no real reason for this. I enjoyed the year, even though it rained a bit, but I think for the most part, the weather was pretty mid. I actually got this top there, my first ever bit of Download merch. Also got my Download dog that year as well. See him in the background there? Yeah, had him since 2017. There was a lot of bands that I really loved on the lineup that year. It was really cool. For the most part, really nice camp, even though I didn't know most of them. It just has to come somewhere in this list, and unfortunately, it's at number 3. At number 4, I've got my original favourite year before lockdown, 2018. This was a really great year at Download for me. My camp experience was amazing. I met so many new people that year, and that was the year it kind of became apparent that people were starting to watch my videos and starting to recognise me there. I think that was That was sort of the first year where people really started to say hi to me. Strangers started to recognise me from my channel, from my download vlogs, and a lot of people were wanting to get in it. I met so many strangers, drunk and sober. Obviously the lineup was incredible as well. We had Avenged Sevenfold, Ozzy Osbourne, Guns N' Roses, a bunch more amazing bands down the lineup. It was such a great year for all of that. The weather was also really good. It just seemed to get hotter and hotter throughout the festival, to the Sunday being the hottest day of the week. It was crazy, it was completely chaotic, and it really was one of the happiest times of my life. I really did enjoy that year, and I was really proud of that vlog as well. That did become my biggest video at one point for quite a few years after that as well. Yeah, 2018 was an absolutely solid time and really deserved this spot. Now these final two are quite hard for me. It's hard to know which one to put in first place, really, because I've really enjoyed the last couple of years at Download. More than anything else, they've been the most comfortable, best experiences ever. I mean, if you've seen the last couple of vlogs, you'll have seen the great time we all have. We're great, it's such a laugh. I think I'm gonna have to put 2022 in the 5th slot, even though I had a few problems with 2023 last year. I can't deny it was the best year I've ever had at Download. So at number 5, we got 2022, the massive return after 2 years away from it. Met a bunch of lovely people, had a great camp, got a lot better at the actual camping thing, the comfort thing, the everything. The lineup was incredible as well. So 2022 was definitely a 10 out of 10 experience for me. And finally at number 6, I've got Download 2023, the 20th anniversary. This was the best year. I'm sure it was the same for a lot of people. The only problems I really had with this year was how crowded it was for most of the festival and how really painfully hot the weather was for those last few days especially. It was something I've never experienced. Desperately trying to find shade and water almost constantly was something I've never had to do before. You know, got through it, got an amazing vlog out that I'm extremely proud of. Had an amazing time with my camp as well. You know, we had the best circle ever last year. It was sort of just a bigger version of 2022, but 2023 without a doubt. The lineup was incredible, the best lineup I've ever seen. Favourite headliners, favourite undercard, it was all just 10 out of 10. So if you've not seen all my Download vlogs, there is actually a playlist on my channel called Download Festival Vlogs by Thedilcam or something, and that has got all 6 vlogs on there from 2016 to 2023. If you want to go watch any of those, I would really appreciate it. Get those views upon some of them. Alright, really hope you enjoyed this one, little bit of a different one. I really am trying to smash the Download content out right now. I really am motivated. See you real soon.